Another big fight coming up, Canelo versus Mangua, T-Mobile Arena, the week before you. So, massive week, massive month of boxing in May. You know, I mean, Canelo, Mangua, into Kambosos versus Lomachenko.
Inoue as well in Japan.
Inoue, I was about to get that. Inoue in Japan, and then followed by Tyson Fury versus Usyk, Jai Opetaya versus Breeders. Massive. First one I want to get to is Canelo versus Mangua, and then obviously the big talk around town, obviously, and around the world is, you're a boxing fan, you know these guys backwards. Do you want to see the Canelo Benavidez fight, and is Canelo asking a little bit too much in terms of money if that fight was going to happen?
Look, I think Canelo's obviously got a job to do it first in front of him with Mangua. Mangua, he's a good fighter. I think Canelo obviously gets the job done, but you can never write off a Mexican warrior, and two Mexican warriors come into fight. You know, you look at all these classics, you know, Morales, Barrera, all these classic Mexican warriors, you know, fighting each other. You're always going to have, you know, excitement when they fight. So we'll see what happens in that fight. Obviously, if Canelo is victorious, then we, you know, the man is going to be from the public. Benavidez is obviously the obvious choice that everyone wants. And I want it too. I want to see it as well.
You do want to see it?
Of course, I'd love to see that fight.
Does Canelo need to take it though at the end of his career? Like, is this something the fans are going to rate Canelo on if he doesn't take it?
The boxing world and the boxing fans are so unforgiving, man.
Really?
Really unforgiving, where
they want so much.
Canelo's done so much, and he's beat all these guys back to back to back. And again, they're going to kind of judge him. If he doesn't fight Benavidez, it's always going to be there. It's always going to say, well, he never fought Benavidez. If he goes out and fights him, then obviously we've got to see what happens in that fight. So I think, does it tarnish his legacy? Not me, because I respect the fighters and I know how hard this sport is. But from the casual fans, yeah, I think they're going to look at, he never fought Benavidez. And you can see it online now. You just look at Canelo's Instagram posts and you look at the comments.
Yeah.
It's ducks everywhere.
Unbelievable.
It's like, come on, man. And I love Canelo, I love Benavidez. They're true champions, true warriors. So yeah, hopefully they can make it happen. I'm sure they can make it happen. Money talks and bullshit walks. So
is the money a bit demanding though? Like Canelo talking about 200 million, 150?
If he's bringing in the big gate, he's the one that's bringing in the big pay-per-view, and I'm sure it'd be a huge event. They do it maybe at the Allegiant Stadium. It would be a massive event. So we'll have to wait and see. You know, this landscape is always, you know, very difficult sometimes, and these mega stars are going to demand what they want, but we have to wait and see.
In a way, obviously.
I'm not a promoter. I am a promoter.
Well, you actually
I actually am a promoter.
You're your own promoter.
Ferocious promotions, but I'm not a promoter for these guys. I'm not an American promoter to, you know, try to put these guys together. Not yet. Maybe in the future when I retire, I can put my promoter face on and, you know, sit there and learn all my lessons that I've learned from the great promoters that I've worked with. Obviously, you know, the Bell Entertainment, Top Rank, Matchroom as well. I've worked with a lot of different guys, even PBC when I fought on the Pacquiao-Broner card.
Correct.
I've been able to...
Leonard actually asked after you last week.
And I love Leonard. You know, we had a good chat when I beat TFM Lopez. I know he was extremely happy with what I did in that fight, and you know, I went out and watched Gervonta Davis and Isaac Cruz ringside for that fight. So you have to wait and see.
I'll get into that next one. Gervonta looks like he's going to make his ring return. He's been out a while, had a good break.
Yes, yeah.
Looks like he's going to fight Frank Martin, the guy we just spoke about. David Benavidez looks to be on the undercard as the co-main. Tank coming back, obviously, at 135 against Frank Martin. Do you know much about Frank Martin? I know we were in Vegas last year when he fought.
Yeah, I watched that fight when he fought the...
Forget his name.
I forgot his name, yeah. And then that's no disrespect to him. He put on a great fight, very close fight. But again, you got to back Tank in that fight. You know, Tank is proven. You know, he's the puncher, and you think he will handle business in that fight. But again, Frank Martin's a very good fighter. He hasn't fought the elite yet. This is his first elite fight. So we're going to have to wait and see. Styles make fights, and like I said, what we see and what the outside public might see right now, once they step in there, it's a whole different scenario.
May 12th, you could sit there when you're victorious and say, I've been in with Loma, Tio, Devin Haney. Not having a go at Tank here. I know he's been in with a couple, Pedraza, you know what I mean? He was in with Barrios, I haven't really seen Tank. It's just my opinion. I haven't really seen Tank in there with a big name yet, like yourself and Devon have. As a fan, getting away from being a boxer and George Kambosos, who do you want to see Tank in fight?
Look, I've got to handle my business, May 12th. May 12th is
But would you like to see Tank and Devon?
I'd like to see
Tank and Shakur?
I have my mindset of who I'd like to see Tank fight.
Yeah, it's you cheeky bugger.
But I'm very focused on who I have in front of me.
Yeah, but let's look in on Tank.
Let's look outside. Yes, I would love to see him fight Devon Haney. I'd love to see that style matchup. I'd love to see, Tank step in there with Teofimo Lopez.
Yeah, mad fight.
I'd love to see these kind of fights, and I think everyone's always worried about the loss, and I think Tank is definitely one of them guys that doesn't want to lose. I think a loss for him would totally diminish his mindset and what these guys try to do. But when I look at my career, man, what I've been able to do, what the guys I've been able to fight, especially back to back, it's like, man, in the last 2.5 years, Teofimo Lopez, and yes, he will be a future Hall of Famer.
Well, let's go back.
We can go back. Bailey, Selby, but let's go Teofimo Lopez. Let's go Devon Haney twice, another future Hall of Famer. Now, Vasiliy Lomachenko, future Hall of Famer. When I beat Lomachenko, again, we'll step again to the biggest and the best, but May 12th.
For the fans, though, looking in at all you guys, there's some hot divisions in boxing right now, but 35 and 40, that's where the money is, that's where the hottest fighters are. It'd be great to see those fights with Tank and those guys. That, like, for the fans out there, they want Tank to make that happen, don't they?
Yeah, I think the demand, it always comes from the fans. The demand is always, pushing, and I saw, a few things on Twitter, and actually they compared myself, look at Kambosos' resume and what he's been able to fight in the last 2.5 years, and look at a guy like Tank, and it's no disrespect to Tank, hell of a fighter. But again, it's the public demand, it's not me, it's the demand from the public, it's the demand from the fans, and the casual fans too. They're starting to say, well, why is this guy not fighting at what is it, 28, 29? Why hasn't he fought a guy like Devon Haney? Why has he not fought a guy like Teofimo Lopez?
Shakur.
Shakur as well. These are
Loma.
These are the Lomachenko. These are the kind of names that you want to see these elite fighters be matched up against.
Do you reckon Tank could call that the winner of your fight? Because I have seen some stuff before when you fight. He nibbles.
Yeah, he nibbles. He's like a.
He watches you.
You go fishing and you got your bait on. You get the
shout out to
nibble,
BCF.
But you don't get the big bite. So we'll see. We'll see. For me, like I said, I'm just focused on May 12th on my fight, and we'll have to wait and see. I don't know. There's not even a date. Is there a date for it?
There's a prospectus date. Yeah.
So
it's well after your fight, but you're fighting in May. They're fighting in June.
Maybe I'll go out and watch the fight. I've been there ringside before.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go there again. Who knows? Maybe Floyd can get the private jet out for me.
Another stablemate, well, not a stablemate, but an Australian person that you respect, Liam Paro's got a very daunting task up against a big puncher, a guy
I think it's daunting at all, man. I really think Liam can really shock the world.
Against Subriel Matias.
I've been in that position before. I think he can shock the world. He's going
same title, IBF.
Yeah, IBF.
At 140, obviously.
He can shock the world. I've got a lot of respect for Liam, and another guy that does it the hard way and pushing his hardest, doesn't get that backing behind him, but he's got a good team obviously behind him, his promoters, his coaches, good people around him. So I think it's a task. I don't think it's a daunting task, but it's a task. But he's fully up for the task, and God willing, brings that belt back home.
If there's anyone that knows what it's like to go into someone's backyard and the judges, the ring, New York, well, that's Selby. Hang on, we got to give some props here. Not a lot of Australians
done it, yeah.
Bay,
and the funny thing, right?
Selby.
You see on social media, split decision. Kambosos split decision. Have you guys actually sat down and watched the fight properly?
Yeah, it was unanimous.
Have you seen me when I fought Mickey Bay?
Yeah.
Put him down in round 10. Lucky wasn't, and I love Mickey Bay. Lucky wasn't a 12 rounder. Great guy, fantastic guy, true champion.
Mickey Bay actually admitted that he lost the fight.
Yeah, and then
told Devon
Lee Selby, another great guy, who, former IBF champion and defended the belt 5-6 times. And,
no slouch.
No slouch at all. And he was long and rangy, fighting him in awkward times with COVID period behind
in his backyard.
In his backyard with his judges, picked him apart. And again, of course, he had another split decision. Then Teofimo Lopez picked him apart, battered him, sent him to hospital, broke him apart. Split decision. Yeah, well, you're fighting in the backyard, so it's going to happen. But
is that something?
Again,
is that something?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Is that something for Liam and the team to think about? You know, I mean, in Puerto Rico, you know, we've seen some crazy judges lately. You know what I mean? Like, you've gone and done it. Is it something that, you know what I mean, that him and his team have to be sort of a bit aware of? You know what I mean? Does he have to get the stoppage? You know what I mean? Like, you were very convincing against Lopez. You know what I mean? It was a close fight in the early stages. You got ahead in the fight. Yeah. You obviously did something silly in the 10th round, trying to come out flat-footed, got knocked down.
11, 12,
but 11-12, shut it out, easy. You know, 8-4, 7-5.
Paro's got to be.
Does he have to stop it?
No, I don't think he has to stop him, but I think he's got to be definitive in the fight. He's got to make a standpoint on every round. You don't want to leave it to that point, especially being over there. So I think he's got to make it definitive in each round and put a stamp of authority in each round. Again, it's not going to be an easy task, but I'm confident he can do it.
Jai Opetaia, Maris Briedis, they're going to run it back.
Yes.
Jai was stripped of the IBF title. Maris Briedis is obviously the mandatory. They're going to fight for it.
Yeah.
The first fight was over here on the Gold Coast 2 years ago. Now it's in Saudi Arabia. Yeah. Big co-main. Jai, an absolute freak. I know someone that respects you very much and you respect him. Yeah. How do you see that fight going? And, you know, I mean, you know, words of wisdom for Jai in that rematch, because it's going to be a very different fight.
I think, you know, I'm very confident in Jai. I think he's going to make a bigger statement than what he did in the first fight.
Really?
I really believe so, because I think Briedis, you know, in the first fight, it was a great fight, you know, one of a memorable fight. But I think Jai has been able to work on his craft, get even more confidence after his last two big wins, and I think he's going to bring that in. He's on a nice momentum roll. I think he's going to be able to just ooze with confidence and really, you know, make an impact in that fight. I think he's going to do it easier. Does he stop him? Briedis is a tough bastard, so I don't know if he can stop him, but I think he's going to make it a clear-cut win for him.
How good's it been for you the last two fights to see Jai do it yourself? And obviously you've been successful doing it. Paro's going to... Well, Paro, you know, different levels, but he defeated Montana Love and Yoma Alamo. But how have you been impressed by Jai's last two wins overseas? And very, very convincing. You know, obviously the level of fighters is not the same as Maris Briedis, but over there, flying the flag and going offshore and getting it done.
Yeah, look, it's amazing. Very proud of the boys, and you know, I feel that it's like I've been there before, and I'm still doing it at the highest level, and seeing these guys doing as well. And I know that they don't get the backing in the sport as well. They don't get that everyday mainstream media, you know, behind them. They're still doing it at the highest level now. So I respect them. I give them, you know, my respect, and I'm behind them in their corners as well. And I want to see them victorious and win these belts, bring these belts back home, and keep improving, and again keep feeding their families. It's the most important.